Hi viewers, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nurul Fitria. I'm student from English Education Department of Alauddin Islamic State University of Makassar. So guys, in this video, I'm going to discuss about discourse analysis in the English language teaching, specifically for spoken discourse. As we know that spoken discourse is divided into three components. The first is Interactional Speaking, the second is Transactional Speaking, and the third is Performance Speaking. So later on, I will explain about what are them, what are the example, the reason for analyzing, how to analyzing, what are found in the analysis, and also the implication for English language teaching. So without waiting long, let's get started. The first is about interactional speaking or speaking as interaction. Speaking as interaction or interactional speaking reflects the rules and procedure that govern face-to-face encounters such as casual conversation discourse in which many participants are talking about it. So in this part, many participants can change their topics or theme very often. Sometimes they also use rejoinder such as, "Oh really? Oh no!" or they use interruption during the conversation. So in this section, in this interactional speaking, it takes place into two different contexts, namely in the classroom, or sometimes we know it as a classroom conversation, and also in the social life. So Sinclair and Coulthard have found a pattern called IRF sequence to analysis about the conversation between students and teacher in the classroom. So, I is a symbol for initiation. Teacher initiates the conversation, while R is the response, so students response, and the F is the symbol for feedback. Teachers back to give feedbacks or follow up the student's answer. I'm gonna give you an example. So in this example, sunglasses for teacher, and without sunglasses is teachers. So I've got something new here. What is that, students? What is this? Students? Purse. That purse. Teachers? Teacher? Yeah, purse. This is purse. So let's analyze this one. When the teacher said, "I've got something new here. What is that? What is this?" That's called initiation, or I. So the teachers initiates the conversation. When the students answer the question, they say, "Purse, that purse." So the students response the teacher's conversation, initiation, and the last is feedback. When the teacher answered back to follow up the students' response, they say, "Yes, purse, this is purse." So IRF pattern is happening in the classroom or in the conversation between teacher and the students. So in this analysis, we found a discourse sequence and also the function. We call TPT. T as initiation, P for response, and in the end T as feedback. The T, the function of T, initiation for us. P, the function of response to comment. And T, the function of feedback to response. The function of P to response, and T, the function of T is the function of give feedback to comment. So that's it. Now we are coming to the next example of interactional speaking called casual conversation. So casual conversation is used a lot around us, that we use when we communicate each other in our social interactions. So the reason to learn this analysis, this casual conversation, is to be successful in a social conversation, in social interactions, because teachers, students not only taught form that related to the grammar but also about the function, in order to function about the form that already they learn in the classroom, to speak effectively, socially, and naturally in the real life interactions. So students will be not only good in the form but also will be great in function. Now we are in the example of casual conversation. Based on this statement of Coulthard in 1985, he stated that the pattern or this the exchange function, the structure is as same as the classroom conversation interaction has. So it begins with I, R, and I. Okay, let's begin this conversation. Let me say, hey, are you busy? Why? I'm going for a drink. Can't. I have got a exam to mark. Oh, that's too bad. So we analyze this one. Okay. Because I have said that that's I R F. So when the man say that, hey, are you busy? That is initiation. That's I. We call I. Then the man responds, why? Sometimes we call I, sometimes we call I, because in the response, especially for the casual in conversation, the response could be I too, because it could be the second initiation. So could be R or I. And the man as well answered, I'm going for a drink. I'm going for a drink could be as well R or I, respond or initiation, because could be respond or second initiation. And then the man also said, Ken, I've got an exam to mark. That's the respond. That's only we call R. And the man said, oh, that's too bad. That's too bad means that the man follow up, give a feedback. So that's F. So for the discourse sequence, we call from I to ROI to ROI to R to F. Okay. And for the function, let's repeat again. The man said, hey, are you busy? Hey, are you busy? Could be a question. Is a question. The function is a question. And the man said, why? Could be question as well. And the man said, I'm going for a drink. That is invitation. For drink. The man say, I can. I've got an exam to mark. It's rejection. And the last is that's too bad. That's too bad is the response of the rejection. And for in the internal structure we call A, B, A, B, A. Okay? Therefore, what we have found from the example of casual information, there are three fun things. The first one is about the sequence discourse can be used when the teacher needs to compile about the conversational based on teaching materials. And the second is the utterances can be found as the data for natural language expression. And the last is the internal structure is used as to determine the tone of conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, the implication for international speaking in the two different contexts between conversation interaction and also casual interaction is very helpful to when the teacher need to expect the teachers to do interaction in the English language teaching in the classroom, since the information is the result of analyzing English language use in its social context. So thank you. Now then we continue to the next section. Okay, the second part of spoken discourse is transactional speaking, or sometimes we know that speaking as transactional discourse. So based on the statement from Richard in 2008 stated that transactional speaking or speaking of as transactional discourse refers to the situation where what we say is the central becomes the central or the focus. So the message that we bring will make people understand clearly and accurately is the focus, central focus of our delivery. So in the social life, the central transactional speaking can be identified as in terms of discussion, job interviews, debate, etc. So the reason to learn and also analyze about transactional speaking, we need to learn this, we need to analyze in order to be a good speaker, to be a good presenter, because as we know that transactional speaking, we will be center of the people, especially for our message, because what we said or what we deliver about the content of our message should be understood by people accurately and clearly. So transactional discourse will be very helpful for us when we want to learn, because in this analysis we can learn about the rules and also the procedure to learn about the transactional speaking, so we can be good in a debate. When we do job interviews, sometimes we can analyze and we can apply the rules and the procedure when we do that, so in order to be successful in the job interviews, and also for in speech, in debate, and etc. So we learn this one analysis, learn this transactional speaking, we'll be good in speaking, so we can be a good presenter a good message deliver conveyor. So for the example for transactional speaking, there is several examples here about the real debate for the first presidential from in America, but Hillary Clinton and also Donald Trump, hosted by Lester Holt. About the analysis, there will be opening, response from the Hillary Clinton, and there also response from the Donald Trump. So I'm gonna give example for the Lester Holt here, because for more info, for more explanation, you can see in the page 36 in the book Discourse Analysis for English Teaching Language. Also you can open the YouTube about this first presidential debate, so we can analysis together. Okay, for the Lester Holt, the initiation, let me practice it.
Good evening from Hofstra University, Bethesda, New York. I'm Lester Holt, the editor of NBC Night News. I want to welcome you to the first presidential debate. The first participants tonight are Donald Trump, Hillary, and Hillary Clinton. This debate is hosted by the Commission on Presidential Debate and non-participant, non-profit organization, the Commission. Therefore, choice the format and rules have been agreed by the campaigns. The 60 minutes debate is divided into 6 segments. Each minutes, 5-15 minutes, will explore the topics national, achieving prosperity, American direction, and securing America. At the start of each segment, I would like to send lead of the question of both candidates. They will each have 2 minutes to respond. From the point until the end of the segment, we'll have open discussion. The questioner might have not been clear with the condition campaigns. The audience in the room has agreed to remain silent so we can focus on what candidates are saying. I will invite you apart. However, in this moment, as we welcome the candidates, Democratic nominee for President of the United States, Hillary Clinton, and Republican nominee for the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Recalling the organization achievement prosperity and the syndrome to the child to economic crisis in America today. There's been a record time, the crowd, and the census number have income. Beginning with you, Secretary Clinton, why are you better choice than your opponent to create the kinds of jobs that you will be put money and this podcast of American rights?
Okay, after giving this example, let's analyze and let's see what we found after this analysis. So there is 3 things that we should know about the discord pattern, about the generic structure, and also the modes. So for the initiation or the sign of the capital letter is I, is if for example that what I have done in example from the hotel letter. If you want to see for more explanation, you can see in the page 39, and then initiation, the hoster initiates the debate in the form of opening, then they introduce about the participants, and then form the structure organization of the debate, they welcoming the participants, also they overview, give the topics and inviting arguments. Then from the initiation, they elicit the response or the capital letter with R. So from the opening, the response, we can say for example from Hillary Clinton and then Donald Trump, they follow the rules like they overviewing the topics. After overviewing the topics, they state their solution and also give their recommendation. And the last structure, the last pattern of the example is from the response, they elicit the follow-up or V, the capital letter in the sign of V, or give feedback in order to give a credited experience. So the implication of English language teaching about discourse analysis, especially for spoken discourse in transactional speaking, is very helpful for students to understand about this one, the transactional speaking, in order to speak natural, like native speaker, and so they can apply in the classroom activities based on transactional speaking form, like in the discussion, also in the debate. So they can avoid a natural speech, so they can follow what native speaker do. And besides that, they also can learn about the rules, about the techniques, how to initiate, about the discussion, about the debate, how to respond, and how to follow up or give feedback one another. So we can form students to speak well, speak not only in the form but also in the function, speak natural like what native speaker, and that's the function of discourse analysis. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and Now we are in the last discussion about the type of oral discussion, namely performance speaking. So performance speaking is one of type of oral in discourse spoken discourse that is used to give information to others in front of a public, in front of audience, that we share, we deliver, we convey in the form of monologue rather than dialogue, and then the information that we share to the audience, to the publics, use formal language. So remember, like discussion or we doing presentation in the classroom, use formal language. So this is the performance speaking. So the reason to learn this analysis of performance speaking, because in the classroom, almost maybe especially for students in English education department or student in another major, they think they use this one because like 50 or 60% the activity in the classroom involve a presentation, involve oral speaking. So we have to learn about the performance, because sometimes the students are afraid to spoken out in front of people, in front of their friends, because they lack of confidence. So this performance of speaking teach us also about how to speak in front of people, public goodly, and how to manage our manner to convey our information very well. And here, so with learning this one, our students can understand about the performance, how to deliver, how to do presentation in front of people, in front of classroom, how to bring this theory and explain them with follow the rules, so they can be good in the public speaker, so we can be a good public speaker. So that's the role of performances. Okay, now let's talk about example of performance speaking. Performance speaking has example as well. So the example here in giving speech, give speech in front of public or audience. For more details, you can see in the page 55 in the book of Discourse Analysis. Okay, let's before we analyze about the generic structure, about the structure of the speech, let's practice the example. This is about the speech, okay? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable the teachers, brothers and sisters, good morning. May I tell you first how pleased I am to help you all to stand here and deliver speech in front of you. My speech level in this morning is about safe education and goal. Teenagers are the most important to the growth of the country. They are the newest generation. However, there are many teenagers have been depraved. They run to the drugs, commit suicide for sex and drinks alcohol, smoke, and etc. So this is ruining teenagers' life, and the most popular problem is free sex. Make a teenager think before making is proper. We know that it's very bad for them. There are bad effects for sex, such as suffering from HIV/AIDS, and they're pregnant for the girl. It will damage their future. In order to let's prevent this bad behavior by staying and be a good teenager. Okay. Sorry for the example, it's only example, so I hope you can do better than me. So let's analysis about this generic structure of the speech. So the first one, if you want to make performance, especially for speaking, the first one is we have to addressing. We have that addressing like the honorable to the teacher, the honorable to my beloved friends, like that. The second is we say greetings like good morning, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and then after we say greetings, we deliver our attention grabber like the statement, the main point, or the main what we want to say in the message below, and also we introduction, we introduce about the topic of what we want to say. Then we come to the body is filled up with all of the message that we want to share with everyone, in the public, in the audience. Then we close the ending, so like we give a statement or we close with a good words of speaking. So the implication of English language teaching about discourse analysis, especially for spoken discourse in transactional speaking, is very helpful for students to understand about this one, the transactional speaking, in order to speak natural, like native speaker, and so they can apply in the classroom activities based on transactional speaking form, like in the discussion, also in the debate, so they can avoid a natural speech, so they can follow what native speaker do. And besides that, they also can learn about the rules, about the techniques, how to initiate about the discussion, about the debate, how to respond, and how to follow up or give feedback one another, so we can form students to speak well, speak not only in the form but also in the function, speak natural like what native speaker, and that's the function of discourse analysis. Hi viewers, now we are in the end of this discussion. I hope you like it, and please remember 3 main discussions that we have learned together. The first is about interactional speaking, the second is about transactional speaking, and the third is about performance speaking. So 3 of these components have their own sequence pattern, discourse pattern, their function, and also generic. So we learn this one, students and also teacher maybe will make their speaking in interactional, especially for English language teaching, be better than before, because we follow the rules like what native speaker do, so we can speak naturally, and then we can speak clearly, not only to pay attention to the form but also about the function, so we can be a good speaker, and our speech, also our presentation in the classroom, and also our discussion will be outstanding. So I guarantee with that. So that's recommended for teacher, especially for also students to learn about this one, to learn about discourse analysis, especially for spoken discourse, to be good in them, good in these 3 components especially. And this is the last of my video. Thank you so much for those who have support my video, for those who have watched my video, and also I'm going to say thank you very much for Mr. Kaharuddin, who has given me this assignment as mid-semester from Discourse Analysis subject. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you have below. Don't forget to comment below if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.